Hi guys. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. If you are joining us, welcome to the program. I don't know how we're going to be here for like 35 minutes or 40 minutes. Yeah, we have like 40 minutes to be here. So while you are joining, share the video. Wherever you're joining us from, share the video. Of course, we know that we are going to continue to be censored by Facebook, because Facebook will always censor you when you are speaking the truth. We know that, and we made peace with that. And it's quite unfortunate that I don't have my other platforms to reconnect this program. But however, let's proceed. Greetings, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. Welcome to the program. I am here actually to address the speech of Uwazuruike, because I came across that speech today, and with regards to Nnamdi Kanu's detention. If there is anything that we will learn from the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, if there is anything that you are going to take home, ever since Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, was kidnapped in Kenya and extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, and has been in custody since 2021. Now, one thing that we should not forget is that Nnamdi Kanu is not being held because of the crime he committed. Nnamdi Kanu is being held in arbitrary detention. That is the reason why he cannot get a fair hearing in line with Nigeria Constitution. So that is the reason why I am here again to address this statement made by Uwazuruike, because there are some things we expect from some people, and there are some other type of statement we don't expect from people who I believe that are exposed. I cannot say learned, because I might not know the level of your knowledge in terms of academics. So in that regard, I would say, in your exposure, we are all aware that, I hope I'm coming out clear. I hope I'm coming out clear, because okay, all right. Okay, we're coming out clear. So there are some type of statement that we do not expect from certain individual. There are people we expect this statement from, and those people, we hear it from them, we make peace with it, because the reason why we make peace with it, even if we hear it from these certain individuals, because they speak out of ignorance. There are many things that I've heard, both the ones I've heard from Ikenga's platform on Twitter, but all those things, they are super crazy. But, the reason why I chose to address Uwazuruike's speech, it's all about, him knowing he should know better. He should know better. And I heard the same thing that I heard from Ikenga's platform on Twitter. And I heard it from the mouth of Uwazuruike, them actually repeating each other verbatim, and it could not be a coincidence. Now it actually gives me, it creates these suspicions that there is something going on that we do not know. So they create these suspicions that actually, that makes you actually worried and ask questions. Does it mean that these people are not sincere with themselves? Because let's assume that Nigeria is doing things and they are not doing it right. Let's assume, just one more. off. Sorry for that. So there are some things we will see, and it creates that impression that everything, and those who are fighting that saying that Nigeria will be better one day, they are delusional. You see, they are super delusional. Anybody who will continue to tell us that Nigeria will be good one day, those people are super delusional. Should I tell you why? Because the people whom you saw that claim that they have been fighting for the betterment of their people will come to support injustice against another, indirectly. Now, I want you to understand that regardless of how Nigeria does their own things, regardless of how Nigeria's system does its own thing, it has nothing to do with the following the due process of the law. The fact that Uwazuruike's right was actually, violated because he was believing in self-determination does not mean that it is the right thing to, that is done to him. The fact that he accepted that faith with everything he has does not mean it is the right thing that is done in a country that is supposed to be progressive. So in this regard, Uwazuruike actually disappointed me. I am so disappointed in his, utterances by saying that the law or the court has no right, has no authority to release Nnamdi Kanu. This is actually what I call Stockholm syndrome. When a system deals with you, to an extent you become so scared of that system, it destroys your mental capacity, or, it destroys you as a human being who is supposed to know what is right and what is wrong. The system destroyed Uwazuruike. And some of these things you cannot blame them. You cannot blame them, because there is an extent you will suffer under a particular system. There is an extent that a system will deal with you that you can no longer speak or understand the, right from wrong, or law from sentiment. Then it means that you become ignorant, and that system will actually, at some point, you will actually suffer what is called Stockholm syndrome. And that is exactly what those people who make this statement are suffering from. Uwazuruike made a statement that a court does not have right to release Nnamdi Kanu. Why is that? How would a person, a learned or even if not learned, exposed person like Uwazuruike have this, this type of mindset, regardless of a crime of an individual? There is no authority that is bigger than the authority of the judiciary to judge an individual who is presumed to be guilty of any crime, regardless of that type of crime. And no one is guilty until proven guilty in the court of law. And I have not seen any place in Nigeria court where Nnamdi Kanu is actually proven to be guilty of any crime that he is charged with. We haven't seen that. Yet, people like Uwazuruike will come to tell us that the judiciary or Bintanyako has no authority to release Nnamdi Kanu. Then that means you guys are supporting evil. That means you guys are supporting the, the injustices that is going on in Nigeria, including you, Uwazuruike. I'm so disappointed. I am very much disappointed in your utterances, because it made no sense for an exposed person like you who fought for freedom and eventually capitulate, and you decide to, you are actually telling us, you are not giving the younger generation hope to keep on fighting until they get what they deserve. You are discouraging people. You are discouraging people. And when I heard this from somebody on Twitter relating with Ikenga, and I heard it from you, Uwazuruike, that is so demeaning. That is so demeaning. Do you know the reason why I am speaking, Because everything I am actually talking about, I want to actually speak about the things that exist. I am not speaking it out of ignorance. And I am not trying to actually say this because I hate Uwazuruike. No, he is my brother, man. He's my older brother. I love him. But when an elderly person begin to behave like a child, a wise child is bound to call him to order. Because what Uwazuruike said, let's listen to what Uwazuruike said before we will actually, judge Uwazuruike or correct him in his utterances. Because this is a narrative that is being pushed to make you actually believe that it is a crime to fight for your right in a non-progressive nation like Nigeria. Let's listen to what Uwazuruike said. Hold on. I think it's not loud here. Let's listen to it. Where it should be loud. I am super disappointed. I don't expect this from a learned person. I can expect it from individuals who are uninformed, but not from Uwazuruike. Not from Uwazuruike. I heard one guy and on Twitter space talking all manner of bullshit. Those bullshit that he talks about, it's actually it is as a result of how he hates Nnamdi Kanu. It's as a result of his hatred towards Nnamdi Kanu. And who said that a military man told him that Nnamdi Kanu did this and Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released by president, Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released by anybody in Nigeria. When I listen to this, I laugh at the ignorance of the people, especially somebody in the caliber of Ikenga. I thought that the time that our brother Ikenga was actually in the forefront and part of IPOB, I thought that this period that he spent with IPOB and the time frame that he spent actually fighting for injustices or fighting against injustices in Nigeria was going to actually give him some exposure to understand or actually give him time to study what is law. What does the law say in Nigeria? But I have seen that everything he actually fought for over the years, he flushed down all of them into the toilet. And doing this thing, he has no justification towards anything that he does. Everything, every word that came out of Ikenga's mouth on the program that I listened to, a podcast of on Twitter space, there is no justification to that. It is somebody who has been fighting relentlessly for the freedom and for, equality and justice, just because maybe you believe that someone pissed you off, or maybe you believe things are not going in your ways, or maybe you believe your premonition led you to begin to speak against what you have fought for over the years. It is unjustifiable. You are basically worse than the people that you have blamed over the years. And I am not here to actually, insult you. I am not here to actually, admonish you. I am here to tell you, brother Ikenga, the path that you have chosen, it is actually a very wrong path. You know, it is very, very bad. It is better that people are actually walking on their ignorance than you step away from the truth and begin to walk on the path of ignorance, or the path just because of what you might benefit from those whom you are affiliated with lately. Of course, it is politicians because of your utterances, and there is no solution that you are presenting that is going to actually, help us, as long as Nigeria as a country or politicians in Nigeria cannot stand and defend what is right and wrong. As long as they cannot treat individual as per the Constitution of Nigeria, as long as the law enforcement will violate the right of anybody who is actually presumed to be criminal but not confirmed as a criminal, as long as they don't understand their constitutional right, that is not a progressive nation. You will look so stupid, you will sound so stupid to come and start defending such a nation. It is coming from the path of love that I have for you, not saga. I don't have time for saga. Like I have actually said to myself, I don't have time for saga, but I was shocked. I listened to this yesterday. It was like 5 hours, podcast. I listened to that 5 hours podcast, and the callings that I received from you, the people actually, or people who joined the program, their contribution. I listened to all of them. But what actually touched me more was Ikenga trying all his best to say that Nnamdi Kanu did this, did that. That's what pained me more. Nnamdi Kanu is not a perfect person. He is a human being. No one is perfect. Everyone knows no one is perfect. Everybody will able to limpeli, including you and every other person and myself. We all have our own problem. But in an event where we stand to defend what is right, we defend it until the end. Because Nnamdi Kanu, regardless of his mistakes, regardless of his flaws, that's why the last broadcast I made, I asked you, what are you known for that will override your flaws? Because everyone has a flaw. But there is something that you will be known for that overrides that flaws. That's what makes you a better person. You have actually started speaking in line with the rhetorics of the Nigeria politicians who have no hope of liberating our, place. Or Igbo politicians who have no, plan of bringing back integrity to the Igbo land. You have started using their rhetorics, and you are so proud to say that no one will release Nnamdi Kanu, and you are so proud to say that Nigeria is the country that you have and none other. That is so wrong. That is so stupid. If Nigeria is indeed, I am not actually trying to make you, move from your new belief that Nigeria is the only country you have. Yes, it is. But if it is the only country you have, you fight for justice, you fight for the truth, and you stand according to that document called Constitution that is made available, that governs every activities in Nigeria. You stand in line with that Constitution to tell us that Nigeria is the only country that you have. Is the Nigeria that is the only country that you have? We agree with you. Is it respecting the integrity of that Constitution that governs and protects your right as a good citizen or good Samaritan all of a sudden in Nigeria? Is the Constitution actually working on behalf of anyone? I am not in any way trying to take it away from you. Nigeria is your country. Nigeria is the country that we know that we came from. But originally, we know that before the amalgamation, there was somewhere we came from. And we know exactly because of that, the amalgamation was not working. That is what led to the struggle. Regardless of whatever individual will actually take up, or the behavior of some individual in the name of we are fighting for freedom, it will not deter me to say that the struggle for self-determination is the wrong thing that we have embarked upon. No, it can never be wrong. It is what our parents and our ancestors lived and died for. And we continue to do so, to fight for that. There are criminal elements, and we know that there are criminal elements who criminalize, who is trying to use their criminal activities to criminalize what we're doing. ESN or anybody in the eastern region, there is nothing like the amount of crime that we have seen over the years, ever since prior to the time of Nnamdi Kanu's capture in Kenya. Was it Nnamdi Kanu who committed that crime? The answer is no. If it is ESN, why would you take up? You know that if you believe that you knew Nnamdi Kanu was not supposed to actually set up ESN, why did you not stop him before he set it up? Then you saw that he has set up an army that will lose control if eventually you remove the leader. This army has guns, and you allow that to happen. After you now took out the leader, what do you expect those armies, if eventually if eventually there is anything related to the activities of what these criminals that was established by one Mr. Simon Ekpa or whoever, and Nelly Ofebu and Oyibo, all this establishment that they also called Eastern Security Network, which now gave bad name to the initial establishment by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Regardless of whatever, even though if there are some of the boys that came from the establishment of Nnamdi Kanu and joined the organization created by Simon Ekpa or criminal organization, you cannot equate that to Nnamdi Kanu because he was not there and he was not a free man. And anything committed by those boys, those boys will take account, be accountable for whatever they have committed. Simon Ekpa rose up. Every other person fought to make sure that our land is not turned into a battleground. We all fought that. And the reason why we were fighting that is not because we don't want someone like another person to rise up in defense for the Biafra restoration, because we have seen the criminality that it came with. That is the reason why we all rose up to fight and defend our land. We place the security of our people first. Before anything, anybody who is claiming they are fighting for the freedom of these people. Simon Ekpa rose up and destroyed everything. And today, Uche Mofo is saying that why Nnamdi Kanu did not rise up and condemn it. Nnamdi Kanu is in a solitary confinement. There is a difference between I heard and I saw or I know. There are difference between them. First of all, you notice that there is already problems. Nnamdi Kanu spoke through Ejiofor, and I conducted that interview with Barrister Ejiofor in 2022. I conducted the interview where Barrister Ejiofor said, he said it loud and clear that Nnamdi Kanu works with only the DOS. He said it through him. And the evidence is there. regardless of any other thing you see or heard. Ejiofor was the lead counsel as at that time. And he said it so that those who have ears, they will hear. That Simon Ekpa is not part of the initial arrangement of Nnamdi Kanu. Then why are you equating everything done by Simon Ekpa to Nnamdi Kanu? That is so ignorant of you. Because there is no law that will say that a crime committed by somebody will now be, another person will receive the punishment. It does not, there is no way any law actually stipulate that. Now let's listen to Uwazuruike.
Nnamdi Kanu onye faru na-eme ka na Nigeria agbachicha nkịtị ọ dị ka na agajiwa enwekwara onye Igbo na-ekwuzi okwu mana ọtụtụ mgbe ekwubu okwu ụmụntakịrị apụta kparịba onye ahụ na-amara ụmụaka na-amara nga ihe si bido. Enwere ọtụtụ ndị Igbo nwere ike ịpụta taa kwuo okwu anya aha ntị mana ihe eji aka ha pụta kwuo okwu bụ wepụta ụmụaka ekwere blackmail sobe ya. Ọ bụrụ na a ga-abịa na soshal midia na-akarị na vidio ikpeazụ m mere gbasara Nnamdi Kanu ekwuru n'okwu sị meet the National Security Advisor. The way they put any more here. Some people would say Nancy Noble security issue. Now all security issue, our self-determination. Oh, let's show them. Because it's you move we're managing them.
He said, that all these things happening, that he has gone through it. You see where I said, the reason why I said the fact that injustices was meted on you does not actually negate the fact that there is law. That there is law that governs every nation. Just because injustices is meted on you, now you are now saying, let's make peace with crime against humanity. That's what Uwazuruike is saying now. Let us make peace with crime against humanity. Let us make peace and embrace this Nigeria who does not understand the importance of rights of an individual, whether being prosecuted or not, they have certain rights. That's what Uwazuruike is making peace with. He's making peace with his demon. That's what he's making peace with. I expect Uwazuruike to actually speak out and say that injustice is injustice. Everything that is supposed to be done within the judicial system must be covered under the Nigeria Constitution. In an event where Nigeria Constitution is undermined and you are telling us to go and seek advice or make peace with security officials or the chief security, dude, that is bullshit. Chief security have nothing to say. The only job of a security personnel is to arrest a criminal, detain a criminal, present the criminals within 48 hours as recognized in Nigeria Constitution. That is the job of a security officers. You cannot do that outside the law of the land. If the law say, pick up this individual arrest them, detain them, and make sure you detain them and bring them to court within 48-hour period. If you bring them to court after 48-hour period, if it is not on a weekend, when the court is not actually open, you have violated the constitution of the country. And that a progressive nation, a nation that takes itself seriously, will also prosecute that individual without, if they have no reason or give no, tangible reason for them to violate the constitution of the country. Uwazuruike has made peace for the corruption in Nigerian system. Uwazuruike has embraced the corruption in Nigerian system. Uwazuruike is now telling us that the case that is in court should be that the person who has final say is the chief security of the country. Hey. Oh. Let's listen to Uwazuruike, because there is we need to give him a befitting response. We need to respond to it and address that issue, because this issue is something that is confusing so many people who does not understand the law of the land. One moment.
For 6 months, more than 6 months.
Does it matter?
From Sheba and Suleja prison, don't remember, from Suleja prison to Kefi prison. I'm on a prison for 2 good years.
Mm-hmm.
1 week, Kesunishi Wabo, Senator Chukwumeliche, my God, bless him. Bless his soul. May he rest in perfect peace. As not to put at the end of that. We'll try and ask him, man, I will talk at his name. They went to Chuku. Chuku record me go Chuku. Only was on one. Then I met people the children. Oh, Senator, which Chuku mentioned. You have the case in Nishoka. Now, for my other senators, not their cause. But when I'm case, my phone was in the evening like that. They have been a shaky. They let them. On that almost twice a week. But there was him, Ralph, Maza, look at Bob Talon. But she never when we say, come in the camera. That's a kid, but see, I'm never want to. I'm not prison. I'm never want to take it.
This is a long story.
Netanyahu's court. Not Ghana. Oh, who got submitted the bail application? No, immediately. Then the bail application was in a Supreme Court. We say the bail application in a Supreme Court. I think we don't start the man another one.
I'm trying to get the point, because I have only 5 minutes left.
Yeah, to change well. I'm on one evening, the deputy controller of prisons, in charge of our prison, I think I went on. I said, Chief, congratulations. I said, again. I said, I'm just from a meeting now. My controller took me to the meeting. Na meeting now for DC security chiefs. Na here the gamma can I say that why was on my stay in his prison. Come here to surrender on a prison meeting now to listen now can I'm going to put very soon. Yeah, program that evening. 4 days after Chukwumeliche, Senator Chukwumeliche was remaining. So banana to in that government for about 1 week or so. From Kapot, Bintanago. Yani National Security Advisor, the time was you clear. Kabintanago Semna. Nankana, Gandian them within 19 days and come back to prison. ndị mmadụ na-ekwu okwu maka na experience ị nwere ndị na-enweghị ihe ha ma onye na-aga for prison before they tried with
Do you know where we are basing this issue? It's not about whether or not you have been in prison before or not. The most important thing is that a country must respect their constitution. If they don't have any, if a country like Nigeria does not have any regard for the constitution, they should burn it in public and tell us that we are in autocracy. There is no constitution. Government official does what they want. They do as they please. So because everything he says here continue to contradict the fact that he is actually neglecting the fact that there is constitution of the country, regardless of how he was treated. Because the reason what triggered me to come here is that he said that Binta Nyako have no right to release Nnamdi Kanu. But Binta Nyako is the judge that is presiding over the case. Even after accusing herself, he was now brought back to the case. Now she is saying that she has no right to release Nnamdi Kanu. So that means that the court case, the court outing we are seeing is just a show game. It's a show that people just go. Every time there is a court case, it's just a time-wasting strategy. That's what you are saying. Uwazuruike, you are a man that I respect for the work that you have put in place, at least for keeping that reality of our struggle alive until Nnamdi Kanu came into the picture. And I don't care who is actually piloting the affair. As long as they are committed, as long as they are actually, not, they are not going to actually sell the struggle at some point. This is what actually that I don't dream to see. But in a situation whereby you have actually done your struggle and you gave it up. I don't want to actually talk about how you gave it up, but the truth of the matter is that the way you were treated is not justifiable. And you are trying to justify it. The way you were treated, that is where my problem is. Because as a person who knows, because you say that we don't know, that's why we will come to blackmail you. I'm not blackmailing you. I'm not saying anything, but I am actually basing my argument, that you are treated wrongly by the system, and you have accepted the fate that you were treated wrongly by the system. So you cannot make peace with wrongdoing, which you have done, and that is wrong. Chief Security Officer is not the one, is not a prosecutor. The person that is actually handling the case of Nnamdi Kanu, who has the final say, is the judge, Binta Nyako, who has the final say. That's why when we say that judiciary of Nigeria is a playground for politicians, you think it's a joke. It is not a joke. Binta Nyako is a judge, presiding judge, and you say that judge does not have right to release Nnamdi Kanu. Then why is the court process actually taking place? Why is it taking place? Nigeria is actually playing a game that is, that undermines its integrity as a nation, because they are not behaving like a nation. And that's why when we begin to, to speak against every activities that is being, that is done, every evil activities and the move they are making in Nigeria, you call us disrespectful and you call it blackmail. It is not blackmail. If there is anyone who blackmails you, that's their business and your business. But in my own understanding, Uwazuruike, you are 100% wrong for you to actually compare your matter and justify the injustices that was actually meted on you, that made you give up the quest for self-determination. Even though you say that you came back, all your followers have already turned back to politicians, such as what we are seeing today. Many of Nnamdi Kanu's followers are turning back to politicians, turning back to political, because they claim it's political solution. Anyone who wishes to join politics, they will use political solution. They will actually use political solution to sneak out. If there will be political solution, it must be something that organization and the leadership of organization will actually make a move for. And everybody will now know exactly where they are going. Not one person will just jump out and say, no, we're supposed to do political solution. And there will be no political solution until the political system of Nigeria begin to work. There will be no political solution until the judiciary of Nigeria begin to, become blind. So that when you go into the ballot and somebody actually rig the election, when you go to the judiciary, it will be blind, not to know who is who. In as much as those are not in place, anybody telling you political solution is a political harlot who is looking for their political mandate using the rhetoric of let's go to political solution because you believe you have used the struggle to build people to know you and you will now become a mouthpiece for politicians and then you now start initiating political solution. Political solution is not possible in a place where you do not have right to vote and be voted for. Where anybody who knows the INEC wins the election, or who is in a good book of INEC wins the election. Where somebody like Obama of America will come in and interfere with the Nigeria election. I also heard from Ikenga's Twitter space that Britain was supposed to arrest Nnamdi Kanu. Everywhere was supposed to arrest Nnamdi. That is bullshit. Supposed to does not mean that it was supposed to happen. Why was it happening in Kenya? Because of corruption. It is corruption. Call it for what it is. I am so disappointed in you, Ikenga. I am not disappointed in you because you left the struggle. You could leave the struggle and go and do something else good with your life. It is good. It is no problem. You are not obligated to be, in that struggle or to be part of the organization. No. But if you leave the struggle and leave the organization and you believe that the struggle or the organization, the reason why you left the struggle is not because you have actually been affiliated with a political, organization or politician is not using you now. The same way you admonish Simon Ekpa. The same way you actually, criticize Simon Ekpa. And at the end of the day, after fighting like a man, you end up like a woman. The same way you are not fighting the struggle for the sake of Nnamdi Kanu or his family. I am not. The only reason why I am actually speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu because he has no freedom to speak for himself. That's why I am lending my voice. Not because I am fighting on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu or on behalf because of his family member. I am fighting for equal equity and fairness. I am fighting for the sake of that book called Constitution that is actually there, that is supposed to be made use of, and the judicial system that is supposed to be blind. That is supposed to be tribal blind. That is the reason why I am here. I am fighting for the cause that my grandparents died for. I am not fighting for Nnamdi Kanu. Likewise, Ikenga, you have showed us that you were fighting for Nnamdi Kanu. And you were fighting and looking at the characters and behavior of people around you. If I looked at the behavior of people around me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be speaking. I wouldn't be here. But we're not doing it for anybody. We do it for ourselves. But in a situation whereby you went out of the organization and you start now to talk against the organization or talk against the leader of the organization, it shows that there is an interest. There is an interest that you are chasing. But you want to use the organization as a scapegoat. You want to sell the organization, the information of the organization, so that you will get into this space that you are looking for. That is a sellout, complete sellout. If any politician wants to give you a political appointment in Ikenga, he doesn't need to use you to actually start, labeling the people your comrades. No, that person does not like you. He's just using you. And the person who sells their own people, their buyer will never trust them. You have heard that, you have used this word, and you are actually hearing it again from me. I am so disappointed. The energy you actually put in fighting for this freedom. For me hearing 5 hours broadcast, it was all about the praising Nigeria system. praising Nigeria system. Nigeria that does not have infrastructural development in the last 60 years. Nigeria does not have, education system. Nigeria does not have infrastructural development, no judicial, no justice system that is tribal blind. No, they don't have it. You are praising that system. Why? Because you are affiliated to one politician or who is giving you some promises, because you are making it obvious. You should have pretended. I am not actually trying to, give you a backlash or do media saga with you. I don't do that shit. I am too big a fish to be caught with a penny hook. What I am telling you is that if you know that you are tired of the struggle, do your own stuff the way you want to do it. You were in a meeting the last time we met. You saw my decision, right? You heard my decision. And you heard how, the decision goes. And even your friend, the proclamation he issued, people must not share my video. He made those proclamations. He said all sorts of things against me just because of my decision. It wouldn't make me to come and start doing saga on the media, because that's not the reason why I'm here. I am not here for him. I don't know him. I don't see him. The only thing I see is the freedom of my people. The only thing I see is that one day, these injustices that is happening to other people will happen to me. That's why I have actually stood firm to continue to speak against it. That's why we are here. We're not here for Nnamdi Kanu. We're not here for anybody. We are here for ourselves. And everything we do it by, for ourselves. Now, let's actually hear this. For those who claim that the lawyer, or you people who believe that no one has a right to release Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria, you are actually undermining the territorial integrity of Nigeria. That's what you are claiming. You are protecting the country, but you claim that no one has a right to release Nnamdi Kanu, not even Buhari, not even president. That's where I heard it. But because in this regard, you are actually speaking and undermining the integrity of the country that you claim you are protecting. Because now, so it is now a president of America or Britain will now tell Nigeria, okay, release him. Oh, we are done, release him. It means that your nation does not have their territorial integrity. They don't make decisions for themselves. And the Nigerian law governing the release of individuals charged with offenses, including terrorism, come from several sources. Okay, now, let us actually look into the Nigerian 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is actually a supreme law of the land. It outlines fundamental rights, including the right to personal liberty, Section 35, the right to fair trial, Section 36, and the protection against arbitrary detention. Protection against arbitrary detention. That is your constitution. Why are you not talking about that constitution? The Criminal Procedure Act, CPA, this act provides the legal framework for criminal proceedings in Nigeria, including provision for arrest, detention, and bail. It applies primarily to offenses under federal law. Now you say Terrorism Prevention Act. The Terrorism Prevention Act 2011, as amended, specifically addresses terrorism-related offenses. It outlines definition, penalties, and the procedures for the investigation and prosecution of terrorism, including provision for detention of suspects, national security laws. Various laws and regulations exist that pertain to national security, which can influence how terrorism-related cases are handled. This may include military regulations and specific status related to security agencies, case law. Judicial decision by Nigeria court also contribute to the interpretation and the application of laws related to detention, release, and right of accused individual. Precedents set by high court can influence future cases. International treaties and the Convention, Nigeria is a signatory to several international agreements related to human rights and the counter-terrorism, which can inform national law and policy. In addition, when we talk about state laws, in addition, the federal laws, individual states in Nigeria may have their own legal framework and regulation that govern criminal proceedings, although federal law generally prevails in matter of national concern. Okay, now when we talk about in general, in Nigeria, the legal framework governing the release of an individual charged with terrorism or any crime, including specific provision within constitution and various law. Here is how basically it will work. Generally, if we consider that we have a constitutional democracy and a judicial system that is actually devoid of sight to know who is who, or to know whose tribe is who. Now, in Nigeria, the final decision regarding the release of a charged individual lies with the courts. A judge or magistrate assesses application for bail or release, considering factors such as severity of the charges, evidence, and the potential risk to public safety. Terrorism Prevention Act. The Terrorism Prevention Act of 2011, as amended, provides specific guidelines for dealing with terrorism-related offenses. This includes provision for detention without charge for a certain period, but individual must still be brought before a court within a stipulated time frame. Police powers, law enforcement agencies, including the Nigeria Police Force, have the authority to arrest and detain a suspect under specific condition. However, they must present individual to a court within 48 hours as required by the Nigeria Constitution. How about that? Is it what you see in Nigeria? Go to Nigeria police station, you will see many people languishing there without being presented to the court. Isn't that against their right? Okay. Prosecutorial discretion, where now prosecutors can actually recommend whether to grant bail based on the nature of the offense and the perceived threat to the public safety. Their input can influence the court's decision, not national security chief. Not national security chief. For those who are telling you that it is national security chief, or those people who are telling you that no one has a right to release Nnamdi Kanu, it is the court that has a right. Constitutional right. The Nigerian Constitution guarantees certain rights to the individual, including the right to a fair trial and presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Is there any place in Nigeria law court that Nnamdi Kanu has been proven guilty? The answer is no. So what is he doing there? What are you telling me? The right must be upheld throughout the judicial process. Did you hear that? National security consideration. In cases related to a national security, there may be additional legal provision that allow for extended detention, but this must still comply with constitutional safeguards. In summary, while security agencies may have significant role in the initial detention and investigation of terrorism-related offenses, the final decision on the release of an individual charged rests with the judiciary, ensuring due process and adherence to the legal right. So who is fooling who? This is your provision. This is your book. So why are you not making use of the book? Why are you basing your judgment on sentiment? Why are you using the court of public opinion that is devoid of knowledge of the Constitution? Why is it based on that? Have you seen now that all of you who are saying, Nnamdi Kanu, no one has right to release him, this one, that one, you are all speaking out of Stockholm Syndrome. because you are used to a lawless society. You are used to a lawless system that does not follow due process. That's why you are now confidently claiming you are defending the integrity of this nation when you are actually insulting the integrity of the nation. And you believe that you are defending it because you have been affiliated to one political party to another, or you have been, you are eyeing one political position to another. Then you claim, because out of ignorance, obviously you are going to be defending what you believe that it is right. No, but you are actually making fool of the country in front of the whole world. That's why you will never have a progressive nation. That's why you will never have a nation that actually respects human rights. That's why you will never have a nation that people will love their law enforcement, because law enforcement is supposed to be your friend and your protector and the protector of the law, but they are the ones who violate the law. So now individuals who have equal share of the national cake are now being treated as nothing, and somebody is coming out to defend them, telling you that they are speaking the truth. You must be super ignorant and you need to change your evil ways. Nnamdi Kanu is in arbitrary detention. Court of public opinion does not matter. What matters is the constitution mandate that protects the right of Nnamdi Kanu. That is what matters. Sunday Igboho is out. Sunday Igboho, we still see him clamoring for Oduduwa Republic. Did anyone disturb anyone? No. Why Nnamdi Kanu? Because he's an Igbo man. And Igbo politicians who are biased cannot speak truth to the power, cannot speak truth to authority, because they know that they are super corrupt. They are stealing the national cake, and the authority does not have to ask them. That's why they cannot actually vehemently speak out against the injustices that is being meted on their people. Rather, they will be used as a willing tool. And you want us to come and shout, hey, one Nigeria, God bless Nigeria. God forbid. We are standing on the side of the truth. If you say you are a sovereign nation, make use of what makes you a sovereign nation, constitution. Make use of what makes you a sovereign nation, the laws of the land. Make use of that. It makes provision for everything. Make use of it. If you don't want it, bring it to the public, burn it, so that we will know indeed this is a banana republic, a lawless country indeed. Instead of us fooling ourselves, you cannot actually defend Nigeria. You will look stupid, you will sound stupid in front of those who are actually exposed or educated when you are trying to defend the injustices that is being, carried out by Nigeria against her own citizens. 2020 Lekki massacre. No one talks about it. It is not against the law. No, it is not, because it never touched you. You think being here saying, oh hell Biafra, tomorrow, politician, you get affiliated to one politician, you go and start now saying that Biafra is a fraud. Biafra is that, Biafra is this. No. If you don't want to follow the process of Nnamdi Kanu, move away from his own, ways. Bring in your own opinion. That's what matters. Bring in your own opinion. That's what matters. It's not a must that you must be under Nnamdi Kanu. It's not a must. But you must always speak the truth at all times, regardless of the circumstances. That's one thing I learned from Nnamdi Kanu. Regardless of the circumstances. And I expect all of you who actually profess the desire to defend those who cannot defend themselves and protect the right of ordinary people to actually know that everything is vanity upon vanity. That political appointment is vanity upon vanity. We see those billionaires, they die. Vanity upon vanity. Until we meet again. Bye for now.